The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they enter play here. They come into this one off a bit of a clunker last time out, a loss that ended their 5-game winning streak. Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, and he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. They can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start. But I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
Darius Geis, his first carry of the game. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Here we go!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4.
Here we go! White, 90!
They'll drop to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47.
Let's go!
Back to throw here. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. On the handoff, it's Geis. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Hit on the stop, it was Dorrance Armstrong.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38! Cut!
On play action, they'll throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. Maybe he telegraphed it a little bit right there. You've got a cornerback knowing that he's going against a rookie quarterback. He stepped in and picked it.
You think he had a great great week of preparation, looking forward to this opportunity. And the second part of that is when you're a young quarterback, you are going to stare down targets, but oftentimes your playbook hasn't expanded to give you full field reads as well. Makes it a little bit tougher for him.
Well, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Michael Gallup, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. We'll look now at the starting 11 on defense for Dallas. They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
And not just speed, not just their physical skills. You know what pulls it all together for this secondary? Their smarts and communication. They play really well as a unit.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Here we go. 38.
They'll hand it now to Geis. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter games turn into bigger runs later.
Going right side here, and that's complete. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make a play on the football.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
Come on, let's go.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
I know a lot of times we like to put players in certain boxes. He does this and he does that. But this guy, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a lead blocker or a guy who protects the passer. Handing the ball, he might want to get out of the way.
Geis with a carry on 2nd down. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. 1st and 10 right at the 20.
Let's go.
They'll run with Geis. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Brad 38! Brad 38!
Guys, and he'll be taken down here at about the 11. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with third down looming. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Flex round! Flex round! Let's go! What? 90!
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. That's complete right around the 8. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's first and goal.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Here we go! What? 90! What?
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he's got it. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. In for the score. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. So it goes for a rookie quarterback. He had the INT earlier in this first half, but he bounces back with a touchdown pass.
And you have to like the mental acumen, the toughness, the fortitude of him, because oftentimes for a rookie, you throw an interception early, you're taken right out of the game, or mentally you check out a little bit. Give him a lot of credit for bouncing back.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to face a third down.
Watching now, Barney! Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
That's how you get right up off of the mat, because on the last play, they stoned him in the backfield and dropped him for a loss. But he's the type of guy that scared me a little bit because he's not daunted. Just got right back up, showed some confidence, and picked up a first down with his very next run.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And now running right through it. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Off the bootleg. Stanley into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked on by Quan Alexander. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go.
On first down, this is Geis. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Come on, let's go! White 90! White 90!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he gets it down to the 32. Call it a gain of 3. And they're going to have a 3rd down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
The Redskins on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Come on, let's go!
He'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the
First down.
conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Come on, let's go!
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Let's go! White 90! White 90!
This is Geis on a handoff left. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Tackle made there by Frank Clark.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Let's go!
Looking to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. The kick by Carlson is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal. In just about every special teams meeting, there's a discussion with the punter about his importance. Why? He can flip the field for your team defensively, move it deep into their own territory, or if you're backed up on offense, then he can hit a big punt and change field position and help his defense. In this case, though, field position got flipped by the return team. You can do it so many different ways on special teams.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Stanley, he's going to rifle one deep left side. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly. Just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the #3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
On second down, Elliott. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
Looking to throw on second down. Stanley. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Michael Gallup with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Cowboys are in for 6. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So out now come the Redskins. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
They'll try and get it with Geis, and he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there, and the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis. They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
He's going to let this go deep, and that's caught inside the 30. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. And that one results in 35 yards.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
11 more on that one and another first down.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains. And really, it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised they'll come right back to him again.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go. Grand 38.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with 1 complete. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
He'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll get it out. A couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
Flex round. Flex round.
Back to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Flex round. Come on, let's go. Grand 38.
Now back to throw. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say, we'll see what happens. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. The Redskins send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
Patriot!
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he will perhaps get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And time has run out on this first half. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. Out come the Cowboys now as he'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime.
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Back to throw. Stanley. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Stanley. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Off play action. Stanley. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times, tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. The Cowboys on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 10.
Watch him now, Barney.
From the gun, Stanley. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. So now we look at the Redskins offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory. And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards up.
And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender.
Ooh.
To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Leopard!
They go to Elliott again. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
3-19!
Operating from the gun, Stanley. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. 42 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
Looking deep downfield into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10, and he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Lucky 56.
To throw again. Stanley. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs, None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them.
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, it does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
They'll look to throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They'll set up to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a 1st down for him, too.
Thomas has got it, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now a give running left is Geis. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Brandon, we're into the 2nd half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Ohio! Ohio! Let's go! Brand 38!
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps. I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty.
Come on, let's go!
Following the penalty, it's Geis fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. It's the Redskins with the football, but trailing here as we get down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
Here we go! White 90! White 90!
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Catch here, left side, Thomas. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
And not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, but guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. Back to throw now on first down. This will be caught at about the 6. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll look to throw toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah,
what happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. As his guys are in for 6. And the Redskins are able to make this a close game again. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
On first down, Stanley. He finds Howard complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Throwing on first down, Stanley, and he's got Ezekiel Elliott. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover. The angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. A first down carry by Elliott. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. So that's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
To throw on second down, Stanley. It fights him off. Flushed out, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes.
Like the footwork back there, I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Now let's go. Blue, land it.
From the gun, Stanley. This is caught by Jackson. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. 10th carry now for Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. And now with the play clock winding down, Jason Garrett opts to take a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Gone!
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. Now Elliott. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. 1 man in the backfield. That's Elliott on 2nd and goal. They give it to him running left. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. They've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal?
Leopard! Leopard! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Operating from the gun, Stanley. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And he pulled it. Oh, my goodness. It's no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is. So they'll come away with nothing here. A disappointing result even on a day like this.
And as a kicker in the rain, you've got to slow things down a little bit. Give your holder an extra half-second to make sure everything's secure. And here, he might have rushed this one a little, and it winds up no good.
Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. First down now, but that clock rolling. They'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. 2-minute drills, they're tough enough, pressure-packed enough, and these elements makes it significantly tougher.
And you don't have the margin where you can say, okay, I can allow for certain things and maybe change up a little bit. Because it's a 2-minute situation, you've got to try and make the same plays you would make if the elements didn't exist.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards on the play. He'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a second down. And with the clock ticking under 50 seconds now, he spikes it. The Redskins on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This will be 3rd and 5.
Let's go.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you described that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Oh, wow, I thought you were going to go on the field, but okay, I see you. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
They'll go ahead and take the knee here, and the unbeaten season will continue.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Or are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Cowboys, they continue to cruise through this first